Good morning. Welcome to Homebuilt Workshop. Welcome to Wednesday Live. I hope you, and you, and you, and you, I hope all of you are doing awesome today. Oh, and look, they've changed the layout here on the screen here, so bear with me while I find all the proper things here. What is going on? There we go, I think. Sam's here. Sam says hello, everyone. And the real Mike Johnson is here. Good morning, Mike. Mike says morning all. Good morning. Let's see if we can scoot this back a little here. There we go. That's a little better. What's going on? What's everybody up to? Dallo's here. Dallo says hello. Good morning. Or good evening, Dallo. Anyway, I hope you're doing awesome. Right on, right on. Jimmer's here. Jimmer says, yo. What's up, man? What are you up to this Wednesday morning? Any cool cars on the lift? And Donna's here. Donna says, hey, hey, coffee up. Good point, Donna. Coffee. A coffee cheers to all of you. Hope your day is off to a great start. And Robert's here. Robert says, howdy. I gotta scoot my footrest back. What's going on, Robert? Sam says, let me refresh the page. Adverts have lowered the chat. Oh, interesting. Uh-oh. This thing's not on. I better put this on quiet, or we're going to have like all kinds of weird, let's see. Hang on here. Let's press that. And then we do that. There we go. What's everybody up to today? Did everyone, well, in the U.S. anyway, I don't know about other parts of the world, who watched the eclipse? Apparently that was a big deal on Monday. And especially in certain parts. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I would have noticed it if I didn't know it was going on, because we didn't have all that much coverage here. But anyway, it was an interesting event. Jimmer says, no McLarens today. Ah, darn. And Terry's here. Terry says, hello, Jeff and all. Good morning, Terry. How are you this morning? Hope your day's going good. Robert says, just finished my second cup of coffee. I'm working on it. This would actually be my third. I usually have a couple cups first thing in the morning. And then, of course, gotta have my live coffee here. Paul's here. Paul says, greetings all. Paul says, working and drinking apple cider vinegar. I love apple cider vinegar. I don't like drink a cup of it, but once in a while I'll just have like a teaspoon or something of it. It's supposed to be really good for you. I like it. Now Paul says, you get to see the next one in 2044. Set your calendar. I think it's already set. Donna says the eclipse was a wonderful experience. It was pretty cool. I checked it out here. You know, they said that you're not supposed to look at it with a welding shield, or welding helmet. But I used mine, just turned up all the way to like 13 or something, and I mean, I can still see. It didn't seem all that bright to me, but it was kind of neat. Robert says, look like I might have had a little bit of rain this morning. Just watched the eclipse coverage on YouTube Live. Interesting. Dastardly Dave says, sup all. What's up, Dave? Good morning to you. Sam. Sam, let's not go there. Dastardly Dave says, saw the eclipse on my back deck. Pretty cool. Yeah, from if you're in like the path of the whole thing, it looks like it got pretty dark. Here where I am, we didn't get a whole lot of daylight change. I don't know how you'd say that, but yeah, I might not have even noticed anything going on if I didn't know it was happening. But it was pretty neat. It was pretty cool. Right on. So what's everybody working on this week? What kind of projects do you have in the works? What's on your bench, as they say? My bench right now, my bench is clean, ready for a new project. I have no projects at this exact moment in the works. I finished up that little moose coat rack deal for last week. That was a fun little project. I showed you guys last week, I think, the progress on that. But got that done, and that was just a fun little project, just a neat little welding project. Every project doesn't have to be super in depth or super complicated. It's totally okay to just have some fun sometimes and just make those fun little projects. But I'm working on a video for this week, just kind of talking about guitar parts and supplies, materials, where we get stuff from. And I'm kind of looking forward to that one. I'm not, like I said, I'm not building anything for this particular video, but I'm looking forward to it because I'm hoping that it'll become kind of a, I don't know what the word is, a resource maybe, where we can all give input and information as to where we get different supplies and tools and just parts and all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes. I still got to finish filming it when we're done. But yeah, I think I think it could possibly be a good resource, if we all kind of are able to add our input and share our information. I don't know. I could be way off on that, but that's what I'm shooting for. Dastardly Dave says, just a sliver. I think it was 99 or 98%. Yeah, that's pretty close. We were, I don't know, 65% or something. Paul says, doing finish work on a thin line telly and on the Memorial guitar. Yeah, the Memorial one, I've been seeing your pictures, Paul, and that looks like it's going to be cool. That is going to be a super, super special build. Paul says, got to watch the eclipse with my family. It was great. Right on. Robert says, had cloud cover where I am, and it was only about 75% in my area. I did look out the side while it was happening, and there was a halo around the sun. I heard about that. I didn't see it here, but I heard about that. Jimmer says, did I hear the diesel heater? No! No, you don't. I do have the heater, a different one running. The diesel heater, I think I mentioned last week or maybe the week before that I got to tear it down. Yeah, it needs it now. It won't light now. So I gotta get some parts ordered and get that thing, get it tore down and serviced. Yep, for some reason, it's not wanting to run at the moment. But we'll take care of that. Just got to order some parts and get it fixed back up. I probably waited too long to do that. I probably should have done that earlier, but oh well. At least most of the cold here is done. We're not out of the woods yet on the cold weather, but as the closer we get into spring, even though it's technically already spring, our super cold days are getting less and less. Although, who knows? We'll probably still get snow. But yeah, the diesel heater is out of commission at the moment. It needs a rebuild. So yeah, my apologies if you can hear like a hiss. You might hear a hiss. If you do, if it's super loud, let me know and I'll just shut it off. I'm looking forward to this weekend though. It's supposed to be like in the 70s for several days. And then it'll probably snow on Monday, but Me Got Wood's here. Me Got Wood says, hi Jeff. What's going on, Me Got Wood? How are you this fine Wednesday morning? And Time Surfing Alien says good morning as well. Right on. And there's Harry Dude. Harry Dude says, what's up? How's everyone? Good morning, Harry Dude. How are you this fine Thursday morning for you? Wednesday morning for some of us. Wednesday afternoon for others. Mike says, an empty table behind you? What gives? Yes. Oh, I got sidetracked. But yeah, I said I was working on that video, kind of the talking head type video. Yeah, the workbench is empty at the moment, which is very, very strange. It almost kind of creeps me out. I'm not used to seeing that. I've been working on, I keep talking about it, working on the bass, doing some modifications. I'm working on the drawings because that it's going to happen very soon. I'm going to start making some cuts for that build, and I know I've been talking about it for a long time. But that's my focus right now, is getting all of the drawings done for this guitar, because I do plan to do a majority of the work on the CNC machine for this build. Up until now, most of my projects, my guitar builds, have been with templates and that sort of thing on the router table. But I am planning on, I don't know if I'll be able to get this to quite 100%, but it's going to be pretty close. I want to cut all of this stuff out with the CNC. So I'm working on the drawings. You got to have a drawing before you can do anything on the CNC. You've got to have that file to work off of. And, you know, I know you guys don't feel that way, but, you know, some people feel that CNC is, oh, you just press the button and the machine does the work. No, not the case. Not the case at all. There's a lot of work beforehand that needs to be done. And that's what I'm working on. I keep making changes, working on the drawings, making some more modifications, changing this shape, changing that shape, and we're right there. The thing that's really causing me grief a little bit is the fact that I'm designing this right out of the gate for a 4-string, 5-string, and 6-string. That way the drawings are completely done. I don't know if I'll ever build a 6-string, but at least I'll have the drawing ready, everything together, and working on all of them at the same time is making it take a little bit longer. If I was just doing the one, well, I already modeled like the 4-string. Like that one was pretty well done, but I decided to back up, be a little bit more thorough in the design, and it's getting really close. I'm running into some challenges, mainly because this is kind of my first round, but it's just taken me a little bit longer, and yeah, it's getting close though, and I'm excited about that. So that's what I'm working on. That's why there's nothing back here on the bench, because most of my time has been sitting in front of the computer working on designs and just playing around with things. But that's where I'm at. We're working on that. I'm hoping once I get this video done for this week, I'm hoping I can start making some test cuts in kind of some I don't know, scrap stock, I guess, just to get things rolling. And that'll probably be the first episode of this whole bass build series. Would just be me testing things out before I actually get into cutting, cutting the actual body and neck wood. Just doing tests. Probably make a test body, make a test neck, make a test fretboard. I'm waiting on a few more bits for the CNC. There's just so many things you gotta try to keep in mind. Time Surfing Alien says, go hit that like. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you wanted to. I'd appreciate it. Harry Dude says, just came out of daylight savings here in Australia. You now start at 1 a.m. Thursday morning. Right on. Robert says, I watched a video of a steel laptop guitar being made. It was neat. The nut design was pretty cool. It was a steel bass with brass rollers made by a company named Sertano. Interesting. I've not heard of that. This sounds cool. Highline Guitars is here. Highline says, CNC requires a whole new set of skills. It's sort of like swapping hand building skills for CAD CAM skills. Yes, you are you are spot on with that. That's where I'm at. I've designed this bass probably a little. I probably didn't start out on the right path where I needed to be, and I got it fully modeled for the 4-string version, and then I got to thinking, well, now I want to do a 5-string, so I have to change everything, and then I want to maybe do a 6-string. I don't know. So I decided to just back up, redesign everything from scratch. And actually, I'm glad I did because the I've refined the shape and made a few changes, and I think it looks so much better. But it's not done yet. But it's getting quite close, pretty close. But yeah, it's a whole different thing. I've been using the CNC on and off for different things, but as far as mainly to build familiarity with the process and the setup and things. And there's still a couple of things that I need to work out, especially when it comes to doing a two-sided neck carve. I gotta make some sort of a fixture so that I can, flip everything with locating pins. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's definitely, and I never really felt that anyway. But it's definitely not. Oh, you just hit the button and the machine does the work. Yeah, most of my time has been working on the CAD right now. I've gotten into a little bit of the CAM, but until I finalize every little piece on the CAD, then I got to jump into the CAM and start making test cuts. And it's a fun process, but especially being that I guess I would say I'm new to doing all of this, building a guitar on the CNC. It's taken a little bit of time, but once this is done, I've already got ideas that I want to do for other models and other projects, other builds. Once we get through this whole process and I get a guitar out of it, it's going to be awesome. And I'll be, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It'll be a lot smoother, I think, moving forward. Time Surfing Alien says, was thinking of buying a $99 Garrett semi-hollow telly and laminating the front with flame maple. That sounds like a fun project. Retopping an instrument, kind of like I just did for the most recent electric build. If you saw that, I did, where I had that top that had shifted and ended up getting rid of that and retopping it so that everything was nice in alignment. Robert says, I got an order from Crimson of some templates, finishing oil, some dies, and a couple tools. Right on. Nice, Robert. I've got a few things from them as well. Some different straight edges, and I've got some of their oil. I think I'm almost out, but. Jimmer says, I know there's a lot of prep work in programming, but there is just something about something more handmade. I gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Hair Dude says, I see a lot of MDF bodies being cut in the prototyping stage. Yeah, I'll probably cut out a set of templates, I guess. I've got a piece of MDF it's been in my way for like the last year. And I was saving part of it to make a new waste board for the CNC, and I think there's still probably enough to do that, so I may cut out a piece to have as a spare waste board, and then I might test cut some templates. That way, I don't know, I guess I would have some templates if I needed them for something, just to really test the paths and stuff like that. Also, I see a lot of people cutting them out of foam, that insulation foam. I thought about that too. I don't know if that's necessary or not. It's probably not a bad idea, but I do have. You guys remember that big cottonwood, I believe, that giant log that I sliced up last fall with the chainsaw mill? I had super high hopes for a lot of that wood, but I think that log had been sitting around for so long that there was so many cracks and splits in there. It was that figured piece. I don't have a piece of it around. And there's a fair bit of usable material in there, but by the time you cut away all the cracks, the usable stuff is pretty small. So I'm probably going to use some of that stuff just to, because they're big pieces. I mean, they're big enough to do one piece bodies, but I don't. It's going to be hard to work around all the cracks and splits. So I'll probably be using some of that as, to do my test cuts and things on, just because I have it and I won't have to buy any material. I hate the fact that I kind of got to use that as test stock. But again, because of all the cracks and splits that were in it before I got this log, it's just not great material. So I think that'll be used for testing things. Robert says, to Time Surfing Alien, thanks for the reminder for likes. Time Surfing says, you're welcome. Robert says, can your CAD base design be used to build a short scale base? Yeah, you could. I guess I would just have to make a different neck. But I am building, my plans for this is, it's going to be a 32-inch scale length, so not quite a, I guess what some may call a full scale length, 34 or 35. I'm going to do 32 for both, for both, for the 4, 5, and 6 string. But I guess it, depending on how short of a scale. But yeah, I would just have to redesign the neck. Which, once the designs are down, it wouldn't be all that hard to do. Sam says, is it possible to place an Amazon order but send it to your P.O. box? If so, how? I'm on Amazon now. Sam, I think you would just go to almost every time I've ordered something, you have the option to enter a separate shipping address. I would imagine that's all you would do. I'm not 100% sure, because I order stuff a lot and I have it shipped to a different address other than my billing address, and that's never been an issue. So I don't see why you couldn't do that. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have any deeper explanation, but I would just say, when you enter in your billing address, there's usually a checkbox of some sort, and you could say enter a different shipping address, and then you can put that in and it should be good to go. But I don't know. Jimmer says, not knocking CNC though. No, I understand. I know where you're coming from, man. I know where you're coming from. Excuse me. Got a little, I don't know, sawdust or something. Let's see. Deep Fun says, is your bass going to be full scale? Ever consider a short scale bass? They're fun to play for us non-bass players. Like I said, the scale length that I'm going with is 32, so a little bit shorter than full, quote unquote, full scale, but not completely a short scale. I guess we could call it a mid scale. I think, what is a short scale considered? 30 inch? 28? I'm not 100% sure. So 32-inch scale length is what we're going with for both, or for all of the models. And the bass is going to be called the Subtonic. The model, I've already got that. Harry dude. We're building the Subtonic. The models will be the ST4, ST5, and ST6. So we already got that worked out. Robert says, I like the stuff from Crimson, but it does seem to be a bit of a hassle most of the time. Trying to get it there? I've not ever had an issue necessarily. Of course, I think I've only ordered from them 2, maybe 3 times. Robert says, cutting stuff out of foam, it would be a mess. That's my thought. It would make a giant mess. But I see a lot of people doing it as test, to test things, because you can get it thicker, like you can for, I don't know, what is it, 2-inch or something? It would be like 8/4 material. Highline Guitar says, there's a cool video on YouTube showing how Lee Nielsen hand planes are made on CNC mills. Yeah, like most stuff is, is factory made things. How do you figure a Fender Strat, or probably a Les Paul or something. They're probably all made on CNC. I don't know. Robert says you could fill the cracks in the wood with epoxy and just have it kind of rustic. Yeah, and I'm hoping that I can find a couple of pieces of this, a couple of these slabs where I can get a one-piece body out of, which I think would be cool. It's super lightweight. I don't know if I'd use it for a neck necessarily, but maybe with carbon fiber rods it might be just fine. But we'll see. I'm going to do some tests, some test cuts that I'm sure will get scrapped. But as I work through the process, maybe we'll find some. Maybe I can get a good couple of bodies out of it. That would be cool. Jimmer says, kind of like something stamped versus hammered out to custom fit, or with architectural design CAD versus hand drawn. Both require skill. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I agree 100%. There's just different skill sets there. I can say that I'm glad that I've built many guitars now from templates and from I don't know, by hand. Can you call it by hand? I mean, I'm still using routers and bandsaws and all that sort of thing. I'm just now working towards moving that over to the CNC. I wouldn't want to. I'm glad that I didn't start out going straight to CNC. I think that's what I'm trying to say, because I think you need that hands-on approach, and you need that experience going in, knowing what it takes to build one by hand. But moving over to CNC, I think you have a better understanding of the process. I think I would imagine anyway, it would be pretty tricky to just have zero experience and say, well, I'm going to start building guitars on a CNC. Maybe not. I don't know. And I'm sure people have done it. But I'm glad that I didn't. I'm glad that I am 100% confident in my abilities to use the tools that I have now to build a guitar. This is just going to be a new process. Sam gives a thumbs up. Bam! Dreesy Guitars! What's going on? The Highline? I'll see if I can find that at Lee Nielsen hand planes. That's kind of ironic, isn't it? It's a hand plane, hand tools, and it's made on a CNC. Little ironic. Doesn't bother me. It's I've never held the opinion that CNC is not woodworking. It's just not been, I just don't. I know there's 1,000 different ways to do a particular task, and it's just one way. Rather than sticking a template to the wood and letting the router trim to the template, I'm just transferring that operation to a different machine. Robert says, I also watched a guy build a guitar out of a simple 2x4, routed the neck pocket and pickup areas, put a telly style bridge and single coils. Looked kind of strange, but sounded good. I feel like I've seen that. Was that the guy that did that video that everyone was talking about a while back? Where does tone come from in electric guitar? Was that the guy? I think so, because he had a 2x4 or something that he was testing out. Harry Dude says, CNC beats a man with a ruler and a blunt pencil any day. I mean, the accuracy, yeah. Is it necessary? No, it's not. But I'm excited to get into it. Yeah, I mean, the accuracy, repeatability, yeah, absolutely. And for me, I think one of the things that I'm looking most forward to is being able to once I have the whole process ironed out, be able to load up your stock, run the program, and however long it takes to do the work, I can be doing something else. I could be editing. I could be preparing another piece. I could be working on a completely different project while the machine is doing its deal. And to me, that is something that I'm definitely looking forward to. Once I'm confident with my program, my setups, my speeds and feeds, and feeds and feeds, whatever. Right now I'm not 100% confident leaving it completely unattended. Like, I'm not just going to go start it up and run to the store or anything like that. But just being confident that I can leave it running over there while I'm working on something here, I think that's going to be really cool. Hotline Guitar says, fear of change. That's what it's all about. A lot of the templates people buy for making guitars are cut on CNC. Yes, 100%. I know that quite a few of the templates that I have were made on a CNC machine. I think I have maybe, I don't know, I probably got 6 or 7 different, maybe 8, maybe more, I don't know. I can't see them all right now. There's a pretty good couple stacks of templates here, and I'm certain that all but maybe 2 sets that I made myself were done on a CNC machine. And I'm totally fine with it. A CNC machine or one that people use as a laser cutter, a big, larger laser cutter. I do have a set that's cut out on the laser. But either way, it's still, working from a drawing, and the machine's doing the work. Paul says, you can build a guitar out of almost anything. I have. Yeah, you can. Time Surfing says, Les Paul started with a 2x4. Robert says, I don't know if it was him or not, but I saw that video as well as the one I watched this morning. He dyed the body blue and the headstock. He used an old Strat style neck. No, okay, that is a different one then. I haven't seen that one. Paul says, see, Jeff, you and Highline need to stop making sense. While working on the memorial guitar this week, while the laser was running, I could work on other things. Yes, see, Paul, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly it. Sam says the town name. Yes. The address, it's in the description of all my videos. That is the complete address. And yes, that is the town name. Robert says, one of the template sets I just got was for the Fender style Acoustophonic. Oh, I know which one you're talking about. No, that's cool. Right on. And Tony's here. Tony says, morning sunshine. Under tornado warnings here this morning. Well, good morning, Tony. And wow, be safe in there. I hope you don't get any tornadoes, but that's never fun. I have a feeling that here in the next, I don't know, month or two is usually when we get into our spring storm weather. Well, I'm sure something will happen nearby around here too. And we don't have, well, not that I've ever experienced, we don't have any right directly here, but it's not uncommon to get warnings in the area. So I hope you're good, Tony. Hope everything stays away. Yikes. I was going to say something, and then I got to thinking about tornadoes, and I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I didn't intend to get on a CNC kick, but honestly, that's what I've been working on that, and just trying to focus and get this guitar build underway, because I'm getting excited. I I got to start finding pickups and hardware. Well, I've already got a lot of that stuff picked out. I just haven't ordered them yet. We're getting closer, closer and closer. Paul, yes, you're what you said about you could working on other things. Yes, that's the that's one of the advantages that I see to these types of digital manufacturing tools. The 3D printer. The other day I was working on some clamps, some cam clamps that I wanted to try on as hold downs basically on the CNC. I drew up these clamps, and the CNC was cutting them out just out of some plywood. At the exact same time, the 3D printer was printing some bushings because I wanted it to sit up off the table. So I 3D printed these bushings and then these little cam clamp deals. So I had the CNC running and the 3D printer both running at the exact same time, making parts for these clamps. And it was kind of cool. The only thing I should have just laser engraved those clamps. And then we could have used all three machines of the digital trifecta. That's what I call it anyway. 3D printer, the laser engraver, and the CNC machine. To me, that's like the trifecta of digital manufacturing. I don't know what else you could get that you could throw in there. I think with those three machines. Oh, let's see. Robert says, hope the storms stay away. Time Surfing says, I live near the Gulf Coast. Hurricanes are like old neighbors. You're like, oh, hello, old friend. Welcome back. Shutter the windows. Robert says, don't you hate the thought train derailments that happen? Yes. Yes, I do. And they seem to be happening more and more often. You ever like get an idea of you're working on something, you're like, oh, I need to go look the thing up. So I end up going into the house, I sit down at the computer and I'm like gonna type, and then I can't remember what I was gonna look up. Let's see. Gene's here. Gene says, nice to meet you. I'm watching from Japan. Right on. Well, Gene, how are you? Good morning. Maybe it's afternoon there. I'm not sure the time, but welcome. Welcome to Wednesday Live here at Home Built Workshop. I hope you're doing awesome. How's everything in Japan? Did I hear something about a storm or something over that way? I hope everything is good. Sam says, dang, Amazon refreshed. Lost what I typed in. I'll do it from the UK. At least I can send Cadbury's from the UK. I tried. Sorry. That's no worries, Sam. I'm sorry that refresh happened. Jimmer says a water jet. Ooh, yes, good call. That would be sweet. Water jet and a plasma table. That would be awesome. Be able to just cut out steel parts. Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe one day. And Robert says to Gene, welcome to the chat. Right on. Yeah, welcome, Gene. Gene, do you have any projects in the works? You working on anything? Or, our live streams here are every Wednesday. And it's really just an hour or so of us hanging out, visiting with each other, to talk a bit about things that I'm working on, things that are in the works, things, I got coming up. But we also, it's kind of an open conversation. You got a project that's giving you trouble or you got any questions, feel free. There's never a specific topic. It's just just kind of like we're all hanging out together, sitting around sitting around the campfire or something. We're just hanging out, talking about shop, talking about projects. A lot of times guitar related, but not always. So yeah, feel free if there's something you're working on. We all like to know. At least I like to know what everybody's working on. So don't hesitate to chime in if there's something you want to chat about, or just to let you know, hey, I'm working on this sort of thing. I like to hear what all of you are working on. Robert says, if you got all those machines, you would really need a bigger shop. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I already need a bigger shop, but but yeah, to add a plasma table, water jet, yeah, there would totally need some more space. It's nice to think outside the dream big, isn't that what they say? Time Surfing Alien says, combine all four, you'll have a Star Trek replicator. Is that a machine? Will just replicate Star Trek stuff? And Corey's here. Corey says, the update on me. I'm feeling pretty good so far. Right on, Corey. That is great to hear. Nice. I'm glad. Feeling good. Right on. Sam says you can make an outdoor pool table. How about just an outdoor pool? That's what the pond is for. And Robert has a question. He says, have you ever watched any of the videos of Fireball Tool? Yes. Yes. What's his name? Jason, I believe? Jeremy. Jason, I think. Yes. He's got a... Man, what a cool shop he has, huh? Lots of cool machines. And I really like his videos. I haven't seen anything from him in a while. I've heard that he's kind of moved some of that stuff over to his own website. But yeah, he's got some really cool stuff. I love how he does, his different animations and things. I have no idea how he does that. It would be awesome to be able to do animations and stuff like that. But yeah, he's got some cool stuff. And if you guys haven't seen it, check out Fireball Tools. He's got some really cool stuff on there. Makes some really cool things. That vise that he makes is like, I don't know how many 100 pounds. It's gigantic. And he's got some really cool machining fixtures and all that kind of stuff. I'm not like trying to sell you on him or anything, but it's definitely a cool channel to check out. Jimmer says, it's amazing the stuff available to us at an affordable price. Never thought we'd be able to have such equipment. You and me both, man. Yeah, I mean, from back in the day, right? To think that now we would have access to this kind of stuff, it's wild. You're right. It's just one of those things that when they first come out, these things are 50 grand or some sort of industrial machine. You see them, take a CNC machine for example. I don't remember the first time I saw one, but it was just probably in some documentary, or I don't even know where I saw the first one. But it was just incredible that a machine could be doing all this work. And now it's, as Jim says, affordable to where we can have them in our garage and or our our workspace, and it's pretty incredible to think how far we've come. And that's something I think about with my daughter even. It's like we're seeing all of this stuff. I'm from the generation, I probably shouldn't word it that way, but anyway, we grew up without the internet. Right? I mean, this is not what we had. It didn't even exist that I'm aware of. So we knew what it was like before. My daughter is growing up in a time, and a lot of the kids now, anyway, kids these days, it's a part of their world. What sort of things are they going to get to experience, in 20, 30, 40 years? I think it's going to be insane. I think, some of the new technologies and, as prices and these technologies begin to move, what am I trying to say? Whatever new technologies coming out as they move down in price, like the CNC machines and things did now, what sort of insane technologies are they going to have access to, in 40 years? It's got to be nuts. Not sure where I'm going with that thought, but it is something I think about. I'm like, what is she gonna experience? Will she ever get the flying car that we were promised? But yeah, I never. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that I could have a CNC machine in my tiny workshop? It's just nuts. Mike says we need to live in the garage and change the house into the shop. I like it. That's a great idea. Corey says CNC machines come in different sizes now, even from the commercial size down to the homeowner CNC. I know that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, from seeing the first one, which is some big giant, thing, to now. I mean, you can get little tiny ones. I mean, little desktop things that would fit on my workbench. I mean, it's awesome. What a world we live in. Highline makes a valid point here. It says artificial intelligence will change how we use CNC. That's another thing that I've thought about. And I'm not trying to get into debate on the whole thing, so let's not go there and argue that fact. But that is something that I've pondered, right? Like, how is this? Maybe it's not there at the moment. Maybe it is. I don't know. How is that going to change? What we do. What is that going to evolve into? It's another thing that I don't know. I've played around with it a little bit, the AI stuff, but I haven't really gotten too in depth with it. But I'm sure that there's probably something there. It's going to impact something. I don't know what. I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the future holds because I don't know. But yeah, I think AI definitely will play a part in that somewhere. I don't know where it'll work in, but I believe that it will. Robert says the wife may not like changing the house into a shop. Probably not. Jimmer says we may still get the flying car. Our kids may just see the Star Trek replicator. Heck, we have the show's communicator in our hands now. True. Yeah. I don't think I'll see the flying car, but maybe, I don't know. Corey says the CNC machine, you still have to have a computer to design the program for the CNC machine to run. Yes, Corey, you're absolutely correct. You can't just say, hey, CNC, make me a guitar yet. But maybe you will. Maybe one day. I don't know. Maybe one day you'll be able to use AI and say, hey, AI thing, design me a guitar that, has this scale length and, this sort of shape and okay, that looks good. Now generate the G code for my CNC machine. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? Robert says the channel Smarter Every Day, I think, has touched on AI. Yeah, I've watched some of the Smarter Every Day. Hair Dude says Skynet. What is Skynet? I've heard it. I don't know what it is. It's not ringing a bell. Time Surfing Alien says, I remember when Dick Tracy was futuristic. Now it's outdated technology. Yeah. You know what I used to like? This is totally off topic, but that's all right. I used to watch reruns. Remember that show, Get Smart? As a kid, I used to watch the reruns of it, and he had the shoe phone. I used to love the shoe phone. Now that seems old technology, but has anyone developed a shoe phone? Robert says they even had the old Dick Tracy radio wristwatch. Was here for real for a short time. Yeah, I remember that. Mike says the Terminator, Skynet. Oh, gotcha. Yes, I have seen that. Yes, sorry, I didn't make the connection there. I knew I'd heard it somewhere, but I couldn't make that connection. Thanks for helping me out there. Jimmer says holodeck. Oh yeah. Oh, here, dude. Oh yeah, exactly. And there, Sam coming in with the super chat. Right on, Sam. Says towards your next equipment purchase or coffee for the legend. Right on. Thank you, Sam. That'll keep our coffee stocked up. You know, I just opened the last can. I buy these big cans. And I just opened the last one a few days ago. So it is time to go get restocked on the coffee. So thank you so much, Sam. I really appreciate that. Definitely helps out and is appreciated. And as always, I keep trying to hit this like button for that. And, you know, it just want to work. I got to like hit it about 100 times before it does what I need. There it goes. And Corey says they might come down to the CNC machine running on a voice-activated program. Yes, that's kind of where I was going. You know, I can imagine, and it might, honestly, it might be able to be done now, but I haven't taken the time to dive that deep into AI and all that. Yeah, but that's what I mean, you know. Hey, create me can you design me a guitar that, you know, has these attributes, and it'll generate pictures. And I've played with that, right? But from there, I wouldn't be surprised if at some point you can just say, okay, now take that design, write me the G code for the neck, write me the G code for the body, you know, and it generates the G code, and you load it in your machine, and there you go. I wouldn't be surprised. Which sounds kind of incredible, but also I hope it doesn't come to that, because I've spent a really long time trying to learn how to do this CAD designing, and I would, if I could just use image generation to do that, I would. It's just new stuff. Actually, it'd be pretty cool. Paul says, I still don't have the desire to get a CNC yet. I do have plans to build one from wood. I've seen some. I've seen some built from wood. And you know what, Paul? I am a firm believer in we all do what works for us, right? You said you're not ready to. That's totally fine. And I don't feel that it's my job to try to push anyone to go one route or another. We do what works for us. We do what we want to do. We do what works within our space, our budgets, all of that stuff. It's not my job to say, you're going to do CNC. That's the wave of the future. Not everybody likes that. And I've mentioned that in other videos, right? Some people enjoy the quiet of, hand planing their pieces and, using a handsaw. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We all have different methods, and I am totally okay with whatever method anybody chooses to do. If you want to continue using the process that you enjoy, and that's really all that matters. I will never tell somebody that this is the way you do it and that's the only way you do it, because it's just not true. It's just not true, So yeah, you're right on, Paul. You said you don't have the desire. It's totally fine. I like the fact that we now have options like this, right? It's not just, everybody's got to do it with, hand planes. We do what works for us, and really I don't even know where I'm going. I'm rambling now. Yeah, I will never tell somebody that they're doing a process wrong, unless there really is a wrong way to do a particular process. But I have seen some scratch-built CNCs made out of wood. Absolutely. Robert says, I watched the Get Smart shows when they weren't reruns. Mike says, heck, George Jetson, dude. Yeah, George Jetson's. I want a robot vacuum cleaner. Not those little round things, little frisbee looking deals that scoot around. I want like an actual robot. Highland Guitar says Omni Consumer Products. Robocop, yeah. Corey says the Skynet is the first type of AI back during the Cold War. Mike says I'm beginning to wonder if you have tin foil under that cap of yours. Why? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Is that what I sound like? I have nothing, not even hair. What did I say that's tinfoil sounding? Sam says GoPro Hero 12 has a streamer's light and a microphone. Yeah, they had that, like, I think since like the 9. When I bought my Hero 10, I got the media kit, the media mod that has a microphone. You can also buy the light. I didn't buy a light, but yeah, I don't think that's super new. Robert says I also watched the original Man from UNCL before they were reruns. Sounds familiar. I don't know if I've seen it. Harry Dude says CNC is in my 5-year plan, but I have to figure out a way to digitize pick guards first. Okay. May not be 100% accurate, but can you scan them? It's a little bit bigger probably. I don't think one would fit on my particular printer, but I have my home printer has a scanner. Can you put that on there, scan it, and then trace around it? You might have to do some adjustments, but once you get it fine-tuned, bam, it's done. Maybe you could take it to like a copy center. Because I've taken big like guitar prints for the acoustic guitar to a copy shop, and they basically scanned it, and then I was able to get copies made. Maybe they could scan it. Another way, this one's a little trickier, but I have plans to try this. Once I get this bass guitar project moving, I'm going to be working on converting my other designs to digital. Right now they're not digital because I've been working off of templates. But you take a picture of the thing from like straight on. So that's the hard part that I've found, right? So what I've done is take the guitar body, and this might relate, you might be able to relate this process to your pick guards. Take a guitar body, and I'll lay it on the floor with a ruler on it. A 12-inch ruler or 6-inch ruler. I feel like the longer the ruler, the better, or next to it. And then I'll stand up on a chair so that I can look straight down on this thing with the camera, as straight as I can possibly get this picture. And then I'll take several pictures just to make sure I have a good one. And then from there, I can pull that picture into Fusion 360 or probably any other CAD software, and I will bring that in as a canvas. From there, you can edit you can scale the canvas, and if you have a ruler in the picture, that gives you points. Especially a larger ruler. If I got a 12-inch ruler in there, I can say from here to here is 12 inches, and it'll scale that picture to whatever size. So it's at the exact size. And then from there, I'm going to trace. I'll just start drawing around it, dropping in, neck drawings. You might be able to do that for a pick guard. Just take a ruler, and just lay it down next to it or on top of or something. And then you can scale that picture. Now, there is, it can still be off a little bit. So once you get the first design done, you might be able to go back, and then you can make adjustments if something's not quite right. I don't know if that process will work for you, but I mean, it might. That's one that I'm working on right now. Well, not actively, but I've got the pictures taken and I've got the drawing set up in Fusion to where scale the canvas. There's your drawing. I've also done that, with pictures from the, that I found online. If there's a certain guitar that I'm trying to measure, I can grab a screenshot, and if I know that guitar is a 25.5-inch scale length, I can scale that as a canvas from bridge to nut, roughly. I mean, getting it pretty close, and kind of get an idea of different sizes. So I don't know if that'll help or not. Time Surfing says there are CNC handheld routers that won't let you go outside the lines. Yes, the Shaper Origin is one of them. It seems cool. I've never used it, but I did consider something like that before I got my particular CNC machine because of the size, right? It's like the size of a router, but I still realized, or I feel like in order for that to work properly, you've got to lay out that, polka dotted tape stuff, and that's how it reads its location. So you still need some sort of a space to make that work. And I just decided, just get a regular CNC machine. But that Shaper does seem pretty cool, and I feel like there are certain projects where that could probably come in pretty handy. Paul says, it's not that. I work in technology and really am brain tired about learning some new computer stuff. Oh, that's another fair point, Paul. Yep. I dare you to sew a teapot spout and handles on that beanie. So, this beanie's going to have to take a hike before long. I have had this thing so many years. This is the beanie. I've not had any other beanie as long as this one. It's finally starting to get worn out, and I'm kind of upset about that because I've tried a lot of different beanies, and this is the only one that I really like. I like the fit and the length. It always seems to be the length seems to be the hardest thing for me to match. One of these days, it's going to have to get replaced. Time Surfing says, I used to have it from Uncle Comics. Oh, Man from Uncle. Gotcha. Heritage says, I have an A3 scanner and have tried, but I need to find time to refine the process. Yeah, time's always a struggle from time to time. And Scott's here. Scott says, I finally made it to the live. Hi. What's up, Scott? Welcome. Glad you made it in. Right on. How are you doing this fine Wednesday, Scott? What are you working on? Any projects? What's on your bench? Time Surfing says 3D scanners. Oh, yeah. That's a good one, too. Good call. Forgot about those. Have you seen those, Harry dude? I don't know who all makes them. I know Creality makes one. A 3D scanner. I wonder if you could pull G-code out of something like that for a CNC. Huh. Harry dude says, I've also considered LiDAR. Oh, that would be cool. Robert says, my bad, Man from Uncle. It was an old spy show from the 60s. They had a lot of neat gadgets and cars, kind of like a 007. I've heard of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it, though. Time Surfing says, get a hand-operated knitting machine. Make your own. Make your own beanie. That would be cool. Jimmer says, now if we can get the Star Trek transporter, it would be way easier. Now that one, I could get behind that one. So you could just go, yeah, we're going here. And it's like you get beamed or whatever. Right on. Highline Guitars to the CNC beanie machine. Yeah. They probably make them. That's basically like an embroidery machine. How do you think they make all those knit caps? It's got to be some sort of machine, CNC. Something like that. CNC beanie machine. Oh boy. Paul says, gotta go. Everyone have a great week. Yeah, I think I gotta wrap this up too. I gotta do a little bit of filming and then some more CNC editing, program, drawing stuff. Corey says, do you want to know where the beanie came from? It came from the welders. That's where the beanies, they were, what? They were made anti-burn. Oh, yeah. The little beanie, welding beanie. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yep. Mike says, you too. Time Servant says, there's knitting machines on Amazon. My daughter was showing me something. It's like this little hand crank thing that does whatever and it makes a beanie. Robert says one of the actors in Man from U.N.C.L.E. is the same guy that played Ducky from the NCIS series. Interesting. Right on, guys. Well, with that being said, I think it's now time to wrap this up. I want to say thanks to all of you for hanging out here. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. Jimmer says Taiwanese children make it. Probably. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. But I know you guys are. I know you are. And I appreciate that. Right on, guys. Well, thank you for taking some time to hang out here at Home Built Workshop. Hope you have an amazing rest of your week. Hope you're able to get some time to get out in your shops, make some projects of some sort, and be safe, have fun, all that good stuff. And stay tuned because I'm going to go film a video for this weekend. We'll be hanging out next week. Right on. I appreciate each and every one of you. Sam says, thank you for the stream today. Right on. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm going to get out of here. You guys, stay safe. Have fun. Thanks for hanging in today. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Take care. I'll get my hand out of the way here. Later, everyone. Thank you.